first couple family actions, Larkins bought themselves more shipping. It's worth a victory point. They might make money off of it. Right now they're in the lead in victory points, you know. Of course, when the game ends, there's the possibility of like a 5 victory point or so off of a working company. So Hastings didn't have much money, so they just passed and took their buck. Here we got some money. Now, we get a little bit of cash off shipping, but if we started a company, we could buy 2 goods and we'd get the money for them. And that would be pretty cool. I believe starting the goods is the thing we'd like to do first. So let's see if that's allowed for non-companies. It looks like a player can do this. He doesn't need to have a firm to do it. So, yeah, I'm going to throw $2 in and grab my 2 bonus goods. Because I'm looking towards getting a company, and I might be able to deliver goods maybe if I get a percentage of something. Over here, he seems to be operating okay. He's not too unhappy. Like I said, he's got some victory points coming to him if he can keep this company alive. As long as nobody goes out and destroys all the companies, right? So, I've got a ship. Goods are $3 each unless I can make them $4 each by buying the factory, which is definitely a good deal. The problem is I may need 3 things in total. Because right now, Blue, who always goes before me because of the fixed turn order, which again, you'd have to fix this, can jump in ahead of me and grab the 2 shipping. However, if I buy a ship, I could open up, say, Bengal, and get a couple bucks for that. Because I don't have the money to deal with both. I could, of course, sell part of my company to the Paxtons, but they look like they're in pretty good shape, actually. So I'd probably have to give them a good deal. And I don't like giving good deals, because that cuts into my profits, and they're already at 5 victory points, and I'm sitting at maybe that if my treasury goes, right? What's the final turn? I pay $3 plus a sale action, and I have to have the money on the firm, but get a sale action penalty, but get an automatic success, and then I will get victory points instead of money. So improving the company definitely seems like a way to go to win, if I can manage that. Now, I could, of course, make an offer, you know. I'd give you 20% for your ship and your goods. I don't think the Paxtons are willing to take that. 30%, I'm starting to look like I'm not going to get much of the profit. So, but am I over the barrel here? Is that the problem? I don't know. $4 gets me a ship and gives money there. $2 there. The good is, or $4 gives me a victory point and a good. Maybe. Or what? Yeah, I just don't have the resources to do what I need to do. What about opening an area? Let's see. I could do it with one ship. That's not very likely. Of course, I'd get a lot of money. I could close my company if I do that. I can buy a ship and do it. I have to buy a good. Gets me a victory point, you know. We're over here. He's got very little he can do. Is his buck worth anything? Probably not. But $2 might be. Might be enough to be worth another 10% share. Green is done. We come over to blue. Blue can ship to 2, but I can't do it yet. I lied. I gotta float my company. I'll pay the $3 to float my company. Because that puts the pressure on him. Now, if he bought another ship or a good outright, he could sail right now by passing. He doesn't have that option though, because now he is behind the barrel. However, I pay myself $1 and buy a good. I still got enough money to buy another ship if I want to go exploring. Come back to blue. Blue could take the 2. I have a decent amount of money. I think that's what we're going to do. We're going to spend $2 to go sailing. And we fail. Whatever gets rid of this, it does not use up the goods. Which means it's down to him, and he's in much better shape here. I lose my company if I don't succeed. Three dice for a better chance. I'm only going to make $5. If I'm spending $3 to make 5 plus nothing for the goods, I think it's worth it. Keeps my company alive. It's a success. So used. We get a quick $5. Is that worth anything? Geez, I don't know. You know. Okay. Now, additional revenue. No additional. Doesn't have any options. 2 companies, no additional from them. Nobody's got taxes from bases. It's dividend time. Blue has to pay a dividend. They will owe $2. They don't have that. They can't trade a share away. They could sell one of their things for $1. Walsh is not interested in that, and the other players not particularly interested in it. That's going to collapse the company, which I believe gives... so this is actually a big deal. I could give up a promise to someone for money, or I could sell things to Walsh and Company. I offer a promise for $1. Does anybody want to give that? It's a pretty good deal, but what are promises good for? Not much. They're -2 victory points. There's no easy way to get them back, though. Yeah, Larkins will buy that promise for a second $1. Should be here, but these are all done. So that gives me $2 that I can pay out to myself, keep my company alive, no harm. Over here, I pay $5 out because it doesn't give anything to purple. Keep my company alive. It's events time. We're going to have 4 events. The price of goods has just gone up a little bit, which is kind of cool. Okay, we're on 3. That means we move to number 4. Oh, that's not good. 5. Trying to remember, flipping I don't think moves the thing. 5, that's going to be an X. That moves towards prosperity. And over here, number 6. A 3, that flips it. I think. Yeah, which is another prosperity move because of the direction it went in. I should have only been rolling 1 die there. Oops. Let's try again. That was a 2. A 2 would have flipped it as well. Now you can't go to Bombay, it's closed. And it's hard to get to. And now we go to 7, which is up here at Sind. And that will be a 1, which is just fine and dandy. And then we refresh. Players pass and take their $1. Paxton is going to sail $2, trying to go to Sind again. That gives him a lot of opportunity to try to figure out how to get where he wants to go. Unsuccessful. Not so good. No capability to re-roll anything. And now purple. Purple gets to make their choice. Well, I could get there with 2 with no problem and make the $5. No real reason to go for 3 because it's not as valuable. So we pay ourselves $1 to grab a good. I'm sorry, we pay ourselves $2. We have to have the cash on hand for this. This wouldn't be a bad time to invest. But there's no reason not to take free goods. Why didn't he do it? Well, because he wanted to slip his 2 in. So I spend 4. Gives me another boat. And I'm going to try to sail my boats with $2. It's a success. We get our $5. It's all very easy. Just have to make sure we have $3 at the end so we get some victory points. Family powers. Anyone got anything? He really doesn't want to get screwed, but things are looking bad. He'd doesn't get any. These guys don't have them. Which puts it to the dividend. He has to come up with $2 again. He doesn't have it. He has no way to get it easily. He could sell goods and or ships and keep his company alive. If his company fails, all goods and ships go back. I have no cash. Nobody's really all that interested. This is not worth $2. Two of them might be worth $1 each, but these guys are starting to collect up some cash. This is not good. Walsh and Company might be willing to pay $2 to take the whole boat, but that's not going to help him. So he's just gone, and I'm going to put these in the refresher spots because that's very shortly. And his company just failed. Doesn't get the income either because it came in the other order. And we pay out our $5. None of which goes to purple. We're not making much money though. You know, we've got one extra victory point. We've got probably five victory points that we can pull in from income. If we could have gotten these those extra things from the Paxtons, maybe we would have gotten something out of it. But who knows? Because we can keep buying goods at $2 a pop. And as long as we're investing in ships, we're not in too bad a shape. Events. Okay, there's not going to be any goods this time that are cheap. We got 3 events. We find 8. Which is up here at Madras. Did we forget Madras? I don't think so. You think Madras is part of Mysore? We are in good, which means the problem is the more things are open, the less likely the companies are going to actually be able to make much money. They have to be bigger companies, which is not really a viable situation. It's like, yeah, there's more trade available, but you've got to get a bigger share of the trade that's available if things go up to the open regions, which is why things aren't getting open. It doesn't make sense money-wise to do it. I'm not sure. Game-wise, there's just not room for 4 companies operating, 4 of these firms operating. That's pretty clear. Okay, that was 1 of 3. Then we go down to Punjab. And we're in order 2, Punjab. Flips over. And then we go to Maratha. So if somebody had a lot of ships, they would have room for something. 4, it stays static. That's that. We've already refreshed, I think. Minus these boats. This is the last turn of the game. So remember, $3 plus the penalty is worth 5 victory points, basically. Now, if I go to 9 victory points, I get 8 of them because I only have to pay 1 out. So that's if I could do it. Don't know if I can. I doubt it. Especially with this. Play whipping around 2 shipyards. You're allowed to build 2 at a time. Actually, you're allowed to build as many as you like. You're only allowed to buy 2 ships or goods. That's 2 more victory points. That was the best deal I could get. Hastings bought themselves a shipyard as well because goods aren't going to make any money. I don't know if it's going to make a damn bit of difference, but it could. And either one's worth 1 victory point. Over here with $1 and nothing to do. Not so good. Now he's sitting on 3, 4, 5 victory points. Purple's at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, doing quite well. And with a share over there in the Walsh Company. The Shipyards one is obviously very, very good. This one could be good briefly, but there's not room for more than, 1 or 2 companies running at once. If there's lots of stuff, the expectations get too high. And you can kind of see how this is going to affect the John Company game if there are firms in it. Unless the East India Company is struggling, it's going to be really, really hard to get these firms working because there'll just be too many regions open in the presidencies. Okay. What do we do? Well, obviously he wants to ship. He wants to ship as much as he can. $3 plus the penalty. There'll be no penalty. But it looks to me like I can only ship 1 good. And money that goes into the company at the end of the game is not what you need. What you need is the sale action revenues that meet or exceed expectations. Now, right now, that's not hard to do. What could I buy? Not much. I've got to pay 3 for that. I've got 2 for my die rolls. I think this is as good as I can do. I'm sailing. No, wait. I don't need to pay die rolls. I don't need to succeed. 3 is an automatic success plus the failures. So I got 2 extra bucks. 2 extra bucks can't buy me anything of any value. So yeah, we'll just do the sale. Cause yeah, I can't think of what it's worth. It's an automatic sale success. I'm obviously going to take this. That's going to give me 5 victory points. How do I mark those? I guess that's good enough. Money's not useful in this at this point in the game. Purple. Purple has almost nothing they can do. Hey, I could give you this for $1. Yeah, screw it. Blue's going to take a hit. So, yeah. There's nothing I can do. We'll take our $1, but it doesn't make a damn bit of difference. Green, likewise, nothing they can do. They take their $1. It's not going to make a difference. Oops. Go to trade. Additional revenue from Family Powers. He gets $1 now. Again, of no importance. Dividends don't happen because we did the special sale thing. I think that means that the company fails. I don't know. But we'll just leave it there. The events, there's no real reason to play them out. So what we have here is final victory points. Pink has 5, 6. Purple has the 8 that they showed. 3, 4 for green. 3, 4, 5 for blue. So purple with the Shipyards won this one pretty easily. I get the feeling that this was published with the hopes that somebody would be able to figure out something that works with it, rather than, yeah, we've got the game, but we're just not sure about the balance or anything like that. The fact that they left some of the, some key rules aspects out, like how you get the events moving and everything like that. Maybe they thought they were close to figuring it out and fixing it when they put the print order in on the board and on the rule book. I don't know. I doubt it with the rule book. I mean, because the rule book says this is experimental, it ain't going to work. So at some point, they just made this decision of, well, let's include it and hope somebody gets some utility out of it. It's pretty worthless. It does show you a little bit of interesting stuff about how the firms are going to work, but I get the feeling they're not going to be too exciting in the normal John Company game either, unless the John Company is really, really weak. in which case someone may win the battle with the firms and be able to form something that can make them more victory points. I mean, there's the potential to get a lot of victory points from it. Another thing with John Company that helps is that your work, as opposed to this, is that as you work through John Company, especially a long game of it, like a 10-turn game or whatever, you saw there were a lot of ships in the game. Well, if you have a lot of captain ships under your own control, you can probably turn them around and make your firm able to hit at least a couple of locations. A lot of gaminess, though, and the fact that there's a fixed sequence in this and not one in John Company makes all the difference in the world. In John Company, people aren't going to be sitting in the bonus seat or not. The fact that their family bonuses actually all work in the base game, whether or not you are playing, with the revocation, means that you'll be getting something out of them. It's kind of sad that you won't have these. I kind of like these. The idea that like you could interfere in the East India Company's growth, and honestly, in terms of their military force, and honestly, the East India Company military situation, to me, is sort of dependent on their monopoly, and maybe they shouldn't operate like they do. I don't know. Anyway, whatever this one is, it does give you a little bit of insight into what we would have seen maybe in the John Company game if we had seen the company monopoly taken away. Otherwise, I don't see much hope for this. Nothing is really leaping out to say this will fix it. Yeah, you want to randomize the players. But there's just not enough. There's not enough capability to make more than one of these companies work. And I think you'd have to really, really significantly work on this to make it a playable game. Beyond just the rules aren't really completely written for it. All right, let's send this up, and I'll come back with a review of all of what I've seen of this so far and what I think about it.